While everyone's waiting for the Bitcoin to come back down to fill the CME gap around $110,000, the price is doing the complete opposite here, rallying away towards that $120,000 key region. And in this urgent update, I'm going to be breaking down the key levels that you need to watch right now, what this move could mean heading into the FOMC meeting and a week packed with major earning reports, and whether Bitcoin still has room to run before any sizable pullback. So grab yourself a cup of coffee, whether it's hot or iced. Today I'm actually going just straight black hot. That's how urgent we were going today. My name is Paul Sampson. Welcome back to DataDash. All right, folks. The few key levels right now for Bitcoin, in my opinion, I have highlighted here today. We covered two of them yesterday, which one being the really important one in my eyes is the monthly open, also the quarterly open for Q4. I'd noted that we have a weekly pivot down here that's untapped, which is last week's average, likely to be met this week. But again, it's not a guarantee. And for me, I really wasn't overly concerned with it. This would be the area I'd look to, of course, if we start living heavily below this region. But the monthly open has remained that key area, all right? And again, most are targeting or started off the week targeting a move back down to fill the CME futures gap, which of course we closed Friday around that $110,000 region, and then opened up on Monday well higher, about $5,000 difference. So usually we see the old Sunday pumps equals Monday dumps. And again, we've just been conditioned to that over the last few months where we've seen that time and time again. And normally I'm looking for that exact move as well, especially when we see a move that we started off yesterday with, which is where we come up to our previous high, take it, and then we drop down below. Now, the thing here is that, of course, again, I've anticipated Bitcoin to be ranging in this region since we approached that 126. Again, I was targeting 130, but very close. And for me, I've been anticipating Bitcoin to range a bit. And as someone who is a range trader, basically, this is where I absolutely thrive, right? So I can always knock down some of the bigger high time frame things, and of course we have to wait for those to unfold. But one thing and one area that I actually thrive in, where many don't, it appears at least that many don't, is when we're in these ranging moves and the price action just seems so choppy, or some would consider it manipulated or anything like that. And I will show you even right now how the price action is just so clean. How you cannot approach this market the same way every day. You have to look at it differently on Monday than you do on Tuesday, than you do on Friday, than you do at the end of a month or a quarter or a 6-month period. There's just, you have to kind of accept those type of viewpoints, which is going to take experience and time to get through. But it's a very interesting period. And I'll show you how yet again I identified these key areas from the exact lows and what we need to see any more continued upside from here. Now, this is how I was approaching Bitcoin as of yesterday, even 4:37 p.m. Eastern. You can see here I was pointing out that we had bullish divergence here in the CVD, which is the delta, which I point out very often when we have the tug of war between longs and shorts. And you can see where basically everybody is leaning one way or the other, and more times than not, if they're not unable to push the price towards that direction, we get a squeeze to the upside, okay? And this is a very short time frame here, so I wasn't expecting a huge move by any means, but we have basically just seen that unfold now. Then last night at 9 p.m., that's right, 9 p.m. Eastern, I'm still over here putting up as many updates and setups as I can. Was looking for this setup, which I look for every Tuesday after we get our Monday information here, and I'll cover that in a second, but essentially is where we take the low around the Monday low, and then we get a rise into the previous day range here. One of my favorite setups in range trading here is where you sweep the low and go. We had our Monday range, we had our Monday low that we were aware of. We took that low out here, and then we're looking to run it back. We had a few smaller time frame daily targets within the range here, but ultimately looking for a move to the upside. Now we're back above our previous week high, which is another great confirmation to see any more continuation to the upside. From here, we only have one thing left in our way, which is our current high that we just put in yesterday as well at 116. So again, whether or not we just completely rip up from here or not is the question, but the setups are there. They are, if you were to scroll through crypto Twitter, for example, or X these days, I know that sometimes that's a cliche thing to say, but if I think I saw 10 out of 11 posts of everyone just CME gap, CME gap, CME gap, CME gap, and it may come back and get filled. Don't get me wrong. It just, I didn't see a world where we were going to come back and fill it right away, right? So for me, I still anticipate a push higher here towards that $120,000 mark. So far, we're at 116,400 so far as the high. So again, in the region of that. For me, I've also been targeting that since we were at 104, right? Since that last drop here. So I want to showcase the number one level again and why it's so important. And it is indeed this monthly open, all right? So short term and very locally and very much on a lower time frame where we were able to look for this and look for an entry trigger that would give us a trade. I actually personally traded this. Again, one of the best trades I look for each and every day and each and every week, and we get these a lot more times than not, honestly. But on the lower time frame, it looks like we spent a little bit of time down here, a little confusing if you'd almost look at it, right? We lost it, you back tested as resistance, you back test as resistance, and you start heading down. Many would probably look to this as an area where you'd look, if they were looking at that exact level, that we flipped that recent support into resistance and they'd head down. Pays to have a little bit of a bigger view here, and if we go to the daily time frame, our daily candle yesterday closed above, even though we wicked down below, and you saw how in the lower time frames those wicks could get a little out of hand. But overall, nice and clean. We push up above this monthly level that we've been looking for. We closed yesterday above it, and now we are pushing off of it at the moment, okay? So still currently, remains the number one level in my eyes, all right? If we lose that level, of course, we have the weekly pivot to be aware of. But for me, as long as we're living above this monthly open, this $114,000, I anticipate the move to continue towards that $120,000 to $121,000 region for the next notable area for Bitcoin, okay? Where things change is right here. Folks, these are times when experience really matters here. When price is ranging, volatility is rising, and most people can't seem to make sense of what's actually occurring. Again, that's one of the biggest times that I try to thrive in the sense of just, again, everyone's not going to be day trading and actively catching every single move. I get that. I understand it completely. More so, I like to just be on the side where if you at least understand why the price action is doing something, it at least will enable you to make better decisions, or at least have a rational head on your shoulders when we do see some of these moves that appear like they come out of nowhere and for no reason. There's never a random move in the charts. And folks, inside DataDash Pro Discord is where I post all these daily setups and analysis to help members stay grounded through all the noise and potentially catch some of these moves as well. It's where I break down exactly what I'm seeing in real time, especially during these tricky periods where the market tends to confuse even seasoned traders at times. You can join us anytime over at datadashpro.com and start seeing the market with more clarity and confidence. As always, folks, thanks so much for tuning in. Stay disciplined, stay patient. I'll see you all in the next update. And until then, everybody, cheers.